321. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, like I said, we got a lot to do today. Hi to everybody out there. Oh, yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning out there in Phoenix. Well, it was 78 this morning when I rode to my office on my motorcycle. Lovely, pleasant day. We're going to have the whole day like that. It's going to be just beautiful. And, I'm sure you're going to be like 150, right? I got so many windows open. No wonder I'm having trouble. I have like 100 windows open. Okay, and now we're down to something manageable. Okay, let's go over here. Over to... Gotta be able to hit the buttons here. First of all, I want to talk about the Facebook FTC ruling. Okay, so Facebook has been fined $5 billion. They make tens of billions a year. So everybody says that's only a drop in the bucket. That'd be interesting to have a business that's worth so much that a $5 billion fine is a drop in the bucket. But what it signals is that probably there's some oversight coming. And of course, we had I don't know what it was called, the social media forum last week, and that was interesting. Did it accomplish anything? I don't know. But they brought a lot of people together. Somebody said it was going to be like the bar scene in Star Wars with all the crazies invited to tell about why they were blocked from social media, which might have been a good metaphor. In fact, that's exactly who you need because, I've never been demonetized or blocked because they don't have any money coming in or cause much trouble. Nobody cares about marketing databases and stuff. But you really want to hear from the people that free speech is not about saying good morning to your neighbor. Free speech is about the crazies who oftentimes turn out to be right in hindsight and oftentimes are silenced. And so that's what it's about, FYI. So third-party oversight might be coming. Congress got involved when citizens got upset about Cambridge Analytica because they used personal data without permission. No, they didn't. You signed up for Candy Crunch or whatever it was. It was all about these games on Facebook that people got into and wanted their friends to play, Farmville or whatever it was. And when people invited me to play, it said, we're going to look at all your contacts, we're going to look at all of everything we got on you, and that's what we're going to do with it. So we get you to play a free game. And I said, I don't want that. And I said, no. And it was only the people who said yes that data got used. So the whole thing is kind of a travesty, and it was only about, a fraction. What does Facebook have? 3 billion members, and it was like 50 million, I think, or 5 million. It was a small fraction, but whatever it takes. And so, and like Trump, it mattered to Trump. It didn't matter. Read my article on how direct marketing swung the election. That's what mattered. It was the way they used Facebook. It wasn't the Cambridge Analytica, really. But anyway, media is media, and how do they ever get a straight story? But one of the reasons that Facebook avoided much of government regulation that comes with being a media company. So, if you're a media company, you can't, you're supposed to not have too many vulgarities and too much nudity, and you have to do community service, and there's a bunch of regulations that go along with being governed by the FTC. The FCC. And this is the FTC that fined them. But they argued they don't belong under the FCC, which has more regulations, because it's not a media company. It's a tech company. And now they're fighting with the FTC, claiming it's not a social media company. What they're saying, is we're not really a company, and so don't bother us at all. I think it's wonderful. Anyway, so how will these regulations affect anybody? It's hard to say. If you're if you're a local grocery store and you want to target people in your area that haven't registered for your Facebook page, you can. And you probably will. One of the things I like about Facebook is the tight trading area because we work with small pharmacies. I mean, my wife mainly runs that business, but I helped her start with the Facebook ads. And it's nice. Local newspapers have expanded into multiple towns, which means that it's overlapping and you're paying for a lot of circulation you don't get. So it's very inexpensive on a cost per thousand basis, and that part will still probably work. When you start asking yourself race, ethnicity, religion, I guess race and ethnicity are pretty similar. Who knows these days? That's where you're going to probably run into some trouble. Others question whether FTC will face Forcebook to make any meaningful changes. Yeah, that's the big question. Okay. So now let's get into lifetime value. I wanted to talk about what customers are worth. And I, of course, was I wasn't exactly a pioneer. Martin Bear was the real inventor of the idea of customer lifetime value. And the idea was in the term life insurance business, they were making mailings and they were getting a certain result, and they were mailing to break even on that first result. And Martin argued rightly that what they're really creating was not just a one-time order of the initial payment, but they were creating a revenue stream with a predictable decay rate. And so he said we should take all or some of that amount and use that to determine our break even in our mailing plan, and it allowed them to grow much more dramatically because of the way they looked at their accounting, and I think very, very rightly so. Martin and I used to talk about this, and I would say we were friends, but Martin didn't like most of what I had to say because I said, well, it doesn't apply to most companies because though they have somewhat predictable decay rate, in term life they deliberately don't contact you again. And they want you to cancel because if you cancel, they keep all your money and don't have to pay a death benefit, if you cancel before you die. So it's much more profitable if you cancel after a while than it is if you keep it. And my life insurance friends will admit that. That what you want is the big payoff at the end. So I said, but I've been buying from Land's End since the 70s, and I'm still here, and my kids are buying from Land's End. So my initial sale was perpetual, virtually. It could go on forever. Who knows? It's possible. I know people who for generations bought Ford motor car products, and it's not like we want to keep them. It's a different game. And first of all, and second of all, no one knows exactly when we've left for sure. I've worked with major titles, many major catalog titles, and I've asked people, have you ever heard of this company? And they'll almost always say yes. And then they'll say, I used to get their catalog. And what that shows is that somebody at the wheel has decided that short-term profits dictate not trying too hard to reactivate old customers. And one of the things we do for those companies is we come in and help them figure out who in their customer file is worth testing and then how to go deeper in that direction, which is extremely valuable because most mature businesses have mostly, let's say 60 to 70%, people who only bought once, people who didn't spend that much, and people who haven't bought lately. So anyway, we're going to be talking about that a little more this week, and marketing automation. I'm proposing an on-ramp to AI machine learning with a guaranteed ROI. Guaranteed. By the end, you'll know what the ROI is. I'm not guaranteeing what it is. I'm just going to guarantee that you will know it, which is way ahead of most things. And we'll give you a way to pay that in a little bit to try it. So, have a great day. Like and share. Apologize for the delay. John Miglosh for the WDMA and the Internet